All right, so let's do some test swatches. So if I'm gonna mix colors and I'm trying to match a specific color, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll do test swatches. And so how that works is I mix up the dye colors that I need. So if I'm making, say, a bluish green, I would mix up a blue and a green or a blue and a yellow or something along those lines, basic color theory. And then I take very detailed notes on exactly what I did so that I can reproduce it on a larger scale. So here's an example of one of my, this was the one that matched that floral print I had. You can see there's like a very green, there's more of a gray green, there's more of a blue green. And then I took notes on exactly how much of each I used, what colors I used. And I can refer to this again later. It kind of gives me an idea of what colors come out of these two being mixed. I have some other ones that I've done over the years. So this one's navy and extreme blue. And then this one is mostly turquoise with a little bit of extreme blue. And then I have some just solids that I did. And these are all silk. This one's navy and turquoise. This one's turquoise and extreme blue. And then a lot of times what I'll do on my jars is I'll dye a swatch of whatever. This happens to be mesh. This is actually Power Net. Power Net is a good thing to dye. You can dye Power Net for tutu panties and then it will match your tulle exactly. But anyway, I just put a swatch on the top of the jar because it helps me to remember, because pink orchid is really not very descriptive, but if I have a color swatch, I can go, oh yeah, that's what color that is. All right, so when I do color swatches, I use my electric kettle and I get it to boiling. And then I have my mason jars, like always. I'm gonna tilt the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so first of all, you need to put I just put a little bit of citric acid in each one. And it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be measured. It just needs to be some, because that's your fixative. And then I add some water to both jars, like that. And then I put my mask on before I open my jars because I don't want to get this in my lungs. So today I'm going to use sour apple because this is a new color that I just got and I have not used it yet. And then pink orchid because I just kind of on a pink and green kick right now. And what you put in here, I'm going to show you how little this is. Like just a pinch, just a little tiny bit in there. And then I'm going to cover that up. And you always want to add your dye to your water, not your water to your dye. If you add your water to your dye, it can send these dust particles airborne. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing. See, very little tiny bit. And then we're going to stir it up. And you can see the dye powder everywhere on the inside of the glass. And then I put my lid back on here. And then I can take my mask off. Once you have your dye powder in your liquid, then you don't have to wear your mask. You can if you want to. All right, and then I just cut test swatches of Lycra. And you could just throw that in there. And then I'm going to throw one in here into my sour apple. And the longer you leave it in there, the darker this is going to get. Okay, so if I were, oops, I can't get it out. If I were to just dip it in just a little bit and rinse that out, this would be a very pale pink. You can also make lighter colors by adding more water and less dye. So if I was going to dye something a lighter shade, I would start with a big pot of boiling water and I would add like a teaspoon of this concentrate to that water. And that would give me a very pale shade. And again, you can see this turns, this is actually pretty green. I like this one. And so if you wanted to do like an ombre sort of effect, basically what we're going to do is dip it one side in one color and one side in the other color. And I think I just made a watermelon. And then you can dye the bottom a little bit darker. This is kind of fun to play with. And this is why I love playing with dye, because you never know exactly what you're going to get. And sometimes you can get some really cool surprises. All right. So if I was going to do, say, I was going to do an ombre for this color, I would dye up a swatch like this just to test it and see what it looks like, see how the colors go together, and also to give my client a visual of, okay, this is what I'm thinking, this is where we're headed, and this, so we have green, and we have, oh, there's pink still in here, hang on, ah, this one's really dark. See how much darker this is than the middle shades on this one. See, it's gotten really dark. Anyway, okay, so that's your test swatches. Carry on.